agents about making sure that they're cognizant of retaining their books, but at the same time, they are not so consumed by it that they don't write new business. And that's especially critical this year with the unbelievable amount of disruption that is going on. It would be really easy for an agent to say, well, I didn't make many new sales because I was so busy retaining.
That's already happening with one agent I have. I warned her, because she did this year after year, that you ain't gonna build a book. It ain't gonna grow. She's been with me a long time. But her problem is, which I think I've cured, the PDPs. She's buried with med sub clients. They all need new PDPs. I told her PDPs get done on the weekend over the telephone or at night over the telephone. I said, you've got to be out in the field with new agents. So I've, as you know, Andy, I've been buying leads. So I just loaded her up with leads and go to it.
So you're suggesting that agents do their retention during, let's just call it off hours.
Yeah.
I like it. What about you?
Otherwise, Andy, they get so involved with Mrs. Jones' headache.
Yeah.
3 hours go by. You know what happens.
Absolutely. Billy, Lupe, what are you guys going to do? You guys have monstrous books of business. How are you going to retain and at the same time write new business?
Andy, our model is very customer service focused. So our retention, I haven't pulled the numbers, but our retention is north of 90-95%. We don't lose clients unless they pass away. And the reason that is because we provide such service to them. And we spend time researching and getting all the information for the PDPs, and that's part of it for us. But because of this service that we have, we get referrals on a daily basis of new clients coming in, either from one source or another, and for one reason or another, they just moved into town and they asked their neighbor, and their neighbor says you got to go to B. Snyder Insurance, or they're just now turning 65, whatever it is. Because we provide that level of service, we continue to build our book with new clients, and we service the ones that we have. So we have a very easy process that goes sending out a form. They complete the form. We do the research. We call them. To Larry's point, we call them and explain what we're going to do, if we're going to make any changes over the phone. And if it's a little bit more complex and we think that this is a better sit-down meeting, then we invite them to come in for an appointment, and we give their presentation that way. But a lot of what we do is over the phone, but because we provide such service to them year after year after year, we just don't lose. I don't focus on the ones that we do lose, because there's such a small number. Honestly, I don't know. It's just, I don't hear about it.
Sounds like Lupe is probably going to say the same thing, that retention is a year-round game. Am I correct, Lupe?
Yeah, we started reaching out to our clients probably beginning of September, just sending them text messages, mailers, anything like that, just to let them know the possible disruptions, and to start reaching out to us. So that's the reason why I haven't been on these calls the past couple of weeks, because we've been just following up with our current clients. And the same thing, we lose maybe a handful a month if we lose any. And sometimes those that we do lose end up calling and coming back. We've already picked up about 10 stragglers that kind of left us throughout the year somehow, some way, and we've already added them back into the AEP enrollments. So yeah, we're constantly keeping in touch with our clients, same way like Mr. Billy just said.
I remember you telling me that sometimes they think maybe going somewhere else works, and then they experience and then go, oops.
Yeah. I did notice
a
lot of agents, or I don't know who does it, but they'll call them and tell them, oh, there's so much better stuff out there, and they'll flip them around, whatever. And they're back on the same plan that I had them on originally. And I just tell them, you were already on a good plan. So, but now with the new dual in Dallas, we're able to save a lot of clients and regain and add a whole bunch of new ones too. And then that's just building up referrals, like Mr. Billy says. They're just telling their friends, their husbands, or whatever. And we're adding new business with that too.
That's the beauty of retaining that group, is they want to be with you, and then they refer new customers to you. Stephen,
Correct.
Kevin, Alicia, anything you wanted to add? Anything, Carl? Bill?
I just think that's awesome. I mean, touch points with your clients throughout the year. It's one of the ways in which you maintain a relationship, right? This is a relationship business, and everything we do, from who we work with and how we work with the people that support us down through the clients. And you can maintain that relationship by having touch points during the year. It doesn't have to all be at once. You can space them out, but making sure that those clients know that you care about them. You've got them. You've already sold them a product. And so knowing that they knowing that you care about them throughout the year and that you're touching base with them, that's what I've seen in my career, the best retention tool out there, right? It's a relationship.
So what about getting help? So Billy and Lupe, I mean, you guys have some help. You're not, as much as I appreciate your contributions, the truth is you got help to help you retain some of those members too. What would your guidance be to other big producers that have big books of business? Should they get help, and should they pay somebody to actually help them? Or obviously nobody's in the volunteer business.
No,
Absolutely.
you need
We have with Kayla, our Medicare specialist. I couldn't do my book of business by myself. And so we hired a Medicare specialist 3 years ago, and Kayla's been with me for a year and a half now. And she does a vast majority of our Medicare business. And we're actually considering bringing on a part-time agent to help throughout the year because it's just more than one person could do. And like Bill was saying, we send out birthday cards and we call them occasionally just to check on them. We do those things throughout the year. And we have automated systems that does some of that for us, but it's just getting to the point where one person can't manage it all. And that's a good thing. That's a good problem to have.
Lupe, you were going to say?
Yeah, I was real late to bringing in somebody, but I'd say about 350. Once you get to about 350, you really need to have somebody else on board part-time, another agent involved. There's something, because that'll really fast pace you to the 500 to the 700 to the 1,000 mark. I was a little late, so it was a lot of hands-on for me, but eventually we got there. But yeah, you definitely need help.
Yeah, I think that's something that we got to spend more time talking about, because we have some really, really big producers that have really big books of business, and they're resistant to really doing anything. I'm not going to throw Lynn under the bus, but we were having lunch with Jody, and he was saying the same things, like Lynn needs help.
Another simple, I'm going to say it's a simple thing, but you do need to have somebody organize it. And maybe this is something, Andy, your organization can do for the group, is maybe you put together from your carriers who you do business with, put together a newsletter. Maybe it's a quarterly newsletter that all of you can send out to your clients with your name on it. And someone can produce it, and then just with information about business, the industry, the products. Again, it's another value add that you provide to your members. And with email today, you don't have to worry about mailing costs. Just send it to them on an email, and as they're checking their personal emails, they see that, and it's like, okay, wow, okay, this information. They may find something within those articles that kind of sparks something. It could create another conversation with you about something, or it just could be education about what's happening in the market within the products that you've already sold. But that education, that extra service, that extra step service is meaningful for people.
Absolutely. Newsletters, maybe old school guys, it still works.
Absolutely.
Still like the touch point. And I know it doesn't sound sexy, but it delivers. It delivers retention and new business. Alicia?
Yeah, I just started using the Spark platform when y'all talked about it at the conference. And so I haven't got all my carriers transferred over because of, waiting periods and release forms and blah, blah, blah. But I have gotten several of my appointments over there, and I've started utilizing the system. That has been a huge time saver. All the touch points that it automatically does for you that you don't have to set up, how it's branded with your stuff. And I'll even say I've already used the client support option because I do have 4 ladies working with me now, but they're brand spanking new, like brand new, just licensed. They have no idea what in the Hades they are doing. They don't even have all of their appointments, right? So it's still heavily me touching everyone.
Yeah.
That Spark platform. So I had a customer who's having issues, getting drugs that they need, blase, blase. That support function will save me hours of time trying to figure it out and sitting on hold, and they just take over and do it for you. And it has been amazing. So I wanted to say thank you for that. Plus, it has really helped with onboarding my new clients and been a huge time saver. So I think that's a really good thing to mention, that Spark platform, to any of the new agents that are coming in. I have found it to be more beneficial than any other platform for Medicare that I have used.
Well, I'm glad you brought up technology, guys, because if you're still doing old school, Excel spreadsheets or whatever to keep track of your business, you're gonna have to make the transition to having more technology. You're just gonna have to do it. We have so many different platforms that you guys can use, but agents are going to have to make the transition and quit trying to track things on their side of their desk with sheets of paper, files, or I'm about to get rid of my file cabinet in here, by the way. I don't need a filing cabinet. That's Gene's. It's empty. I'm getting rid of it. Maybe I'll videotape it just for fun.
I remember a couple of years ago, Andy, you had a big dumpster out there by the office, and you took all your paper files and dumped them. You said, "That's it. I'm done. I'm going totally electronic, and I'm not going back."
People still remember that. I was so mad because in those days, if you remember, carriers would come into the office with boxes and boxes of kits.
Yeah.
And they would just keep coming and keep coming and keep coming. And I'm not kidding you, in that office next door, it would pile up almost to the ceiling. And I'm just like, I never needed any of them. I never used any of them, but I got so tired of it. You're right, Billy. One day I had my staff videotape me take every single piece of paper in my office and throw it into a recycling dumpster. I asked the building to give me the biggest one they had, and I dumped everything, and I swore that we would never go back to paper. Anyway, to your point, people still remember, that was like 6-7 years ago, maybe longer, 8 years ago. But now we have to have the same sort of proverbial, dumpster approach when it comes to getting ourselves more technologically advanced in terms of tracking our business, keeping track of our clients. There's no way, if you have 350, to Lupe's point, that you're ever going to be able to keep track of 350 or 1,000 if you're not doing it in a way that, uses all the different platforms and technology that's out there. We have so many now. Pick your favorite. And if you don't know how to do it, we even have our own, Jackie's husband that can help you get set up if you don't even know how to do it. So don't feel like you're out in left field. All right, that was a good discussion. Any other final comments before we break?
Yeah, Andy, I want to tell you a quick story. We have Blue Cross here in Tennessee, of course, and our office we were fortunate to get awarded the #1 agency in Middle Tennessee for selling Blue Cross, and that's exciting. But the other day we got an information packet from Blue Cross that had all of their new Advantage plans, and there's a couple of new ones that we just got this year. One of them has a monthly premium of about $200, $210, something like that, and no co-payments and no max out of pockets, because all you do is you pay your premium and that's it. So it's kind of a med sup, but it's an Advantage plan. And so Kayla has this information packet, and 2 clients came in, and they currently have a $0 Medicare Advantage plan with us. And they were talking about some of their upcoming medical expenses and drug costs. And she pulled out this brochure and she said, well, look, if we do this, this is what the costs are going to be, and this is how it's going to be a benefit to you. And they were like, oh, that's a no-brainer. We're going to spend more money in max out of pockets than we will with premium by $2,000. So let's go with this premium one. Right on the spot, she sold him that I think it's $210 a month Medicare Advantage plan. They're happy as a lark, and they're not worried about co-payments or max out. They're just thrilled. So I was really proud of her for, stepping out of the box and coming up with a solution to these people's problems.
I love it.
Really made a lot of sense.
Guys, I know there's a lot of disruption this year, but to Billy's point, it creates so much great opportunity. I see so many agents crying in their soup. I'm like, guys, this is the greatest opportunity of the last 10 years. What are you complaining about? Are you crazy? This is the greatest. Good story. Hey, guys, thanks so much. Bill, thanks so much for joining. Thanks for being on the call, guys. I know.
Thanks, guys. Good luck with everything.
Have a great rest.